The following is a transcript of a conversation between Matías De Stefano, referred to as me, and his higher self, referred to as I am. October 25th, 2020, Silence and Sound. Me. Fullness was born out of emptiness. Thus, the whole was born out of nothing. And if the whole is composed of vibration, then following the logic, it arose from the static. In most cultures, it is said that the first thing that emerged in the cosmos was a verb, a noun, a song, a word, which humans call sound. That is, it must have arisen from silence. But in physics, sound does not produce by itself. It needs two objects that in their interaction generate waves in order to feel a sound. So how could the sound, the verb, the vibration, have arisen from something that does not exist? From something intangible? I am. As we have already said, everything starts from the concept you have of the words nothing, emptiness, silence, and static. Remember, we had said that nada comes from the word born in Latin. Emptiness comes from vacare, which means who is not occupied. Static comes from stare, which means to remain in a still and fixed place. Silence comes from silere and simply means to be silent, or from an Indo-European vision with the concept sei, to stop, in this case, to express. These words in no case negate their opposite, but express a way in which the essence can manifest itself. It is difficult to express something without having its comparison, to recognize it. Humans, in their eagerness to dualize reality, put dual concepts against each other as extreme enemies or opposites that cannot touch each other, which breaks their heads when it comes to telling them that one is born of the other. And the reason this happens is because the universe is a continuum. It has no beginning and end. The only thing that has the appearance of beginning and end is the physical expression of it, which you can perceive with your senses. However, what makes it exist has nothing to do with it. As we explained yesterday, physics describes the laws of the cosmos from the atomic vision to the macrocosm, but it cannot explain the laws of the microcosm that make up the atom because they escape from physics. They are metaphysics. Me. How to understand it then? I am. That just as the all does not exist, neither does the nothing exist. Me. Wow, wait a minute. If the whole, the physical, is a schematic construction based on metaphysical laws without a scheme, and we accept, therefore, that everything that exists is only a mere mental perception of a certain order among particles, then we should take into consideration that this strange world and unreal is the real. In other words, nothingness is what gives rise to things, and therefore it is the only real thing while the other is perceptive. I am. And what is nothingness? Me. Birth, you said it, where things come from. I am. And how does nothing arise? Me. It's like the question, who created God? It has no answer. I am. Everything has an answer if the question exists. Me. Is there an origin then? I am. For certain things, yes. For others, no. Me. The universe is a continuum then. In other words, nothing is born from everything, and everything from nothing. I am. Ouroboros, the snake that bites itself. What you interpret as beginning and ending, as everything and nothing, is nothing more than the aspects of a continuum. Me. And what is that continuum? I am. Do you know what a kaleidoscope is? Me. An instrument that makes you see varying geometric shapes as you turn it. I am. Kale eidos skopios, from the Greek, to see beautiful forms. As you turn the cylindrical instrument, you will see the figures change. Sometimes they will seem chaotic, but when they find their new location, harmonic figures will appear that will keep you in awe. The brain is programmed to find order in things, and when it finds it, it relaxes. All the time, your job is to try to order the incoherent to find harmony. The human has based his civilization on this, through the way of telling stories, with beginning, middle, and end. He has done it in architecture, through structure, construction, and finishes. He has done it in art by mixing colors, layers, details. In music with its moments of melody, tension, and resolution. In the process, the brain is under pressure, developing, forcing himself to adapt. And when the work is finished, he contemplates it, relaxes. When you hear a song and it cuts out at the moment of tension, your brain will go crazy trying to finish the note of resolution to feel pleased. Therefore, throughout their lives, humans look for things that produce that discharge of endorphins and morphine that drugs the brain, making it feel that the chaotic is constantly taking order. That is why your minds are attracted to videos, sounds, and short phrases that lead to a moment of tension and a quick resolution. Like what amazes in a kaleidoscope, in which chaos and order follow each other almost instantly. The deformation of something to become something else is called anamorphism. Me. I saw the work of a sculptor, Matthew Robert Ortiz, who makes strange sculptures that, depending on where you look at them, take one form or another, but on the way you go to find the other form, everything is chaos, a network of pointless wires. I feel despair when I see that part, and when I find the figures, there's a moment of recess, as if everything were still, as if time stopped, contemplating that image. I am. That's the universe. The moment of chaos is the moment of creation, where nothing makes sense, where you seek, where you develop, where you discover, where you despair, where you express, where the brain gives everything of itself to find meaning in things, in the whole, in the existence that manifests. And then, when he discovers it, when he finds harmony, perfection, he stops, relaxes, becomes static, perplexed by what he sees, amazed. It no longer thinks. The brain sleeps because at last it understood, and now it only has to let itself go, feel, contemplate. That instant, all the noise I heard, in the questions, in the explanations, in the conversation, becomes silence. All the shapes he saw and interpreted like a jigsaw puzzle, touching each of his pieces of him, now become contemplation. That is the moment when he understands everything. It is when he departs from the will to be and contemplates what simply is. Amazed in the silence, in the void, in the nothingness of being able to see the harmony of the whole. Me. Oh, I think I understood it now. They are not separate things. Of course, it is not even a mother who has a child. But who created the mother? She is always the same mother, giving birth and raising herself until she becomes a mother again. The moment of being a mother is one of stillness, tranquility, calm, where all the senses stop being alert to life and focus solely on the interior, on preparing to generate life, existence, everything. Nothingness is only the moment of stillness and contemplation of existence prior to its expression, expansion, and experience. I am. Now then, you will understand the following. The silence did not generate the sound, the vibration, but the silence is all the sounds in harmony, finding so much harmony with each other that the only thing capable of expressing is silence. Silence is the true catalyst of an orchestra. The sounds are only understandable and assimilable by the silences between them. The silences are more important than the sound itself, because in the silence you assimilate everything that has vibrated. You become each vibration, and when you have become them is when you can return to express a new song. Me. That's why it's so important to learn to listen. I am. Listen to the physical action whose spiritual equivalent is to meditate, which is the cosmic equivalent of harmony, which is the universal equivalent of emptiness. What you call sound is just one of the many expressions of what you know as vibration. When you hear the expression, sound travels at such and such a speed, it is another of those consensuses, since it is not true. Sound is not something separate that moves through space. Sound is the manifestation of the vibration of space. Everything vibrates. It is another law of the universe. Nothingness itself is the union of all vibrations. And when all vibrational forces add up, you cannot listen to any of them because neither is above the other. Me. The sum of all forces equals 0. The union of all sounds equals silence. I am. Silence, then, is not the absence of sound, but the union of all in harmony. The only thing that makes it possible to feel sound is the sensitivity and ability of your inner ear to vibrate, and that vibration is interpreted by your brain as sound by the electrical pulses generated by the tiny hammer bone. So the sound does not exist outside, the sound exists inside. Me. If a tree falls in the middle of a forest with no human miles away to hear, does it make a sound? I am. No, it only generates vibration. The spider will feel it in one way, the monkey in another, the earthworm in another, the plants in another, the birds in another way. The tree does not make a sound when it falls, because the sound of a tree falling is produced only by our hearing. The whistle for a dog is a high-pitched sound that powerfully attracts its attention, and yet a human does not hear it. Does that imply that there is no such high-pitched sound? Of course not, for the sounds are only vibrations captured by certain individuals according to their evolution. Me. Once I read that the crying of a baby is especially irritating for their own parents more than for other people, because that way a mother or father can recognize from a distance if something happens to their baby and not to another. Our bodies adjust to certain vibrations in order to pick up their vibration. This also explains why we resonate with certain information and not others. I am. When the ear prepares to hear a certain vibration, then those words will be heard clearly. If the ear is not ready yet, then there will be no understanding. Me. The other day in one of the talks, I explained the importance of listening, of being silent to understand before asking questions. Does it have to do with this? I am. Sure. The art of silence, of meditation, of listening, are keys to understanding forms. It is one of the most intense meditative practices, learning to listen, to be silent when the other speaks, even if he does not agree or if I am not interested in what he says, because I want to know something else. Sometimes you can miss the answers because you are looking for another tune. Those who silently listen to the other have more ability to understand, more breadth of perception, and therefore more possibilities to find answers. For in the silence are all the answers, even the ones I can't hear. This is why silent meditation is a key to discovering the answers within you. Do you understand? Me. Yes. Many times it is said, meditate, the answer is in you, be silent, or that kind of thing, but sometimes you don't understand why or how. In this way, I think I understand the importance. The silence contains all the answers, which I will not be able to hear carefully and clearly if I am in outer and inner noise. And the sound, then, is the focused force expressed from that listening. After the understanding, I launch myself into a new search, a new learning, manifesting, creating a new vibration. I am. It is important to understand, then, that the answer is not only silence, since it is only found due to the sum of sounds. For this reason, the expression of the word, of the song, of the truths, of freeing what is inside, creates the paths to find harmony, as in the sculptures that you described. Me. I am, then, sound and silence, because I am vibration, even if I cannot hear it, because all sounds are in me, and I must tune into them or pay attention in silence to hear them. I am. There you enter the cosmic constant. Me. I am the universal song. I am the cosmic silence.